Welcome to Let's Just Be Real with me, your host, Marissa Tong. I'm a multi-passionate creative entrepreneur who's on a journey to create my dream life in a world where adulting just gets too real sometimes. On this podcast, we talk about all things beyond surface level to leave you feeling inspired to think bigger, unapologetically prioritize your self-care, and discover your true, authentic self. Think of me as your unfiltered but wise auntie who just wants the best for all of us. So grab your journal or maybe a glass of wine and let's get real. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode this week. I hope y'all are doing well. I genuinely hope that y'all are doing all right because I'm not. I'm definitely not, but I am. It's weird. It's like I am okay, but I'm not okay. I should be crashing out, but I'm not really crashing out. Like let's just call it eclipse week, okay? Because that's exactly what it is. We have one more eclipse for this year. All right. We have I can't even talk. We have a lunar eclipse in Pisces this Thursday. And yeah, it's been a crazy ride. Like, honestly, I heard somebody say the other day, like, it's felt like Mercury has been in Gatorade for the past like 2 months. And honestly, I agree. Like, Mercury in Cancer was in retrograde in like July. Yeah, it went like that first week of July, lasted for a couple weeks. It's usually like 4 weeks. So we got out of that. Then we went right into Saturn retrograde. Saturn is in Aries right now, low-key feeling kind of like harsh and volatile, to be honest, like very harsh, just like truths, realities, slaps in the face, like reality checks. That's kind of what it's giving right now. And then we just entered Virgo season. Shout out to the Virgos. And what else is going on this week? Just, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you don't follow astrology, I always recommend Chani. She has a podcast. She has a book. She has a YouTube channel. Go check her out if you're trying to learn more about the transits. I usually don't cover the transits. Like, that's not the type of astrologer that I am. Like, I don't really study the sky in that way. And I'm not super experienced with that. But I do study on my own. And I try to keep up as best as possible with what's happening in the sky, the weekly transits and all of that personally. But if you want to find out, how it affects you personally, you can always go on YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm on YouTube every single day, just soaking in as much information as possible and just trying to stay grounded and regulated. So I hope that y'all are doing the same thing. Today, we're going to be talking about the big three. Okay. I've had some requests come in about astrology, just like basic astrology. We have had some previous podcast episodes with an astrologer, my girl, Lara. She's been on the show twice. And the first time, I think we actually did talk about the second time I think we talked about there was an eclipse in like 2024, and we talked a little bit about like what to expect with eclipses. So this is actually the perfect time to go re-listen or watch that episode. I can definitely link that in the show notes if you guys are watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, so I can link that. And yeah, so today I want to talk about just the basics, right? Getting down to the basics. Astrology 101. What is the big three? What is a sun sign? What is a rising sign? What is a moon sign? Okay. I had also put a post on Instagram stories asking if you guys had any specific questions. So I'm going to be just pulling like one or two of those questions and answering them for you guys. So, okay, let's dive in because I'm gonna be real, like this week is freaking crazy. I have so much on my plate and I'm just trying to not have my brain explode. Like, I'm gonna be so real. I did not want to record this episode. It's like I want to, the intention is always there and I love chatting and I'm always like so grateful and happy like once the episode is like edited and published. That is the best feeling in the world. But getting into it, knowing that like, oh, I need to sit down and actually record. Oh, I need to edit. Oh, I need to publish. Oh, I need to promote it. Like, so yeah, let's dive in because I got shit to do, okay? All right, so let's break it down. If you're looking at your birth chart, you can pull it up pretty much anywhere, astro.com, chani.com. I highly recommend not using CoStar. I know so many people have got accustomed to using CoStar over the years. I also have been guilty of using CoStar in the past because I didn't know any better, but CoStar is an AI generated platform and it's very wrong, actually, like super wrong. When people show me their charts, looked on CoStar, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like the houses don't make sense. Like the math ain't mathing. So please don't use CoStar. Let's stop doing that right now. If you guys are Channy lovers, or if you want to check out Channy, I need a code. Honestly, Channy, give me an affiliate code or something, because the way I be promoting you, honey, okay, like I need $1. I could really use $1 right now. But anyway, you guys can check out Channy. She had a code, fuck AI, if you want to check that out, and it'll give you premium access to her app, which I highly recommend if you're trying to get deeper into your chart and like really figure out the ins and outs of every single placement in your chart, what it means, along with the transits. Like it's a very good app. She has meditations on there, all that good stuff. So go check it out. The code is fuck AI. And no, it's not an affiliate code. You could just use it. So if you're looking at your chart, okay, you're either looking at the circular graph, right? It's a circle, and that is the birth chart of you. So let's start with the sun sign, okay? The sun sign is the main sign that most people are very familiar with when we're talking about astrology. So if I were to just ask you like, hey, what's your sign? And you were to say Virgo, you're most likely referring to your sun sign, okay? So this is what most people are familiar with, the sun sign. And that is based on the time and the day that you were born. So right now we're in Virgo season. Virgo season runs August 23rd to probably September 22nd usually. So it's about a month that every sign has. And this is based on the zodiac wheel and the order. So we won't dive too much into it, but there are 12 zodiac signs on the wheel. There are 12 houses, every house. Okay, so if we're talking about a house, this is what most of my clients are usually confused about. Like when I send them voice notes about their birth chart, breaking it down, they're usually asking questions about the houses. So we won't dive too much into it. We can actually make this another podcast episode, or I'll probably put it out on Substack on Midheaven Mommy. So if you're interested in learning about the houses, that'll be a separate piece of content. However, just so you know, we're getting some context here. There are 12 astrological signs starting with Aries, and they go in order of the zodiac. Okay, we won't talk about the order today, but starting with Aries, the last sign is Pisces. Okay, so some people might think like, oh, isn't the first sign like Capricorn because that's January? If you're thinking about the traditional Gregorian calendar, whatever, then yeah, you can think about it like that. But in terms of astrology, the first sign is always Aries. The first sign, the first house, the house of self is Aries. Okay. And then we go into the 12th house, the last house, which is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. Every house is represented by a different sign. Every house represents something different. Okay. So based on where you have certain signs in your chart on that wheel, every sign is going to go into a different house for you personally. So let's say that you have Virgo in the second house. Okay. The second house is going to represent assets, money, self-worth. Okay. So you as a Virgo sun, having your sun sign in the second house means that a lot of your personality is going to be around money, career, self-worth, public image, all of that good stuff. Okay. Making sense here? Making sense a little bit? All right, hopefully. With the sun sign, okay, so that is your main sign. That's where the sun was for that period of time for the month when you were born, okay? So that is pretty much the personality that you're going to take on. Your soul contract, who you are at the core, okay? Who you show up as in this lifetime, how people are going to typically see you, if they know you, if you know yourself, like you are most likely going to identify with that sun sign. So me, I'm a Scorpio sun. I identify deeply as a Scorpio. I also have other planets and placements in Scorpio. So depending on what other placements and planets you have in other signs, that's going to determine what type of personality you're taking on, your drive, your energy, your aura, all that good stuff. So your sun sign, who you are at the core, your soul. Okay. Now, getting into the rising sign. The rising sign is very particular, okay? It's based on the exact time that you were born, and it's where the planets were when you were born and what sign was coming over the eastern horizon. So let's say that every 2 hours, a different sign is coming over the eastern horizon. Okay, so every 2 hours, and that's going in that order. So let's say you were born tomorrow, okay, or let's say you're pregnant, all right? Hopefully not if you don't want to, have children. But let's say someone else is pregnant and tomorrow they had their child at 12 p.m. At that exact time at 12 p.m., the rising sign would be, let's just say this is hypothetical, okay? Let's say the rising sign at that time is Leo. If they were born, let's say at 3 p.m., that would change and they would most likely be a Virgo rising. If they were born, let's say 5 p.m., now another 2 hours later, then they could possibly be a Libra rising. Okay, are you guys catching my drift here? All right. So every 2 or so hours, that sign is going to change. That rising sign is going to change. Now, what is the rising sign? The rising sign is pretty much a personality that you take on, a mask, if you will. Okay. So if you think about, I like to explain it to my clients like this. When you are in a show, right? When you are playing a character, let's say you're in a play or a musical or a movie, you're taking on this role. So let's say that the role is your rising sign, right? So let's say the rising is Virgo. You're also a Virgo sun. So now you're a double Virgo. Not only are you a Virgo at the core with your sun sign, but now you're also taking on that extra layer of Virgo qualities as you're rising. So this is most likely how people are going to see you in the public. Like when people first meet you, you could give off more of that rising energy. It's kind of like a mask. A lot of people like to call it the mask that you put on. So it's kind of like, okay, I know deep down, like I'm a Scorpio, but I'm an Aquarius rising. So when you meet me, I might give more of that Aquarius energy. And it's not really like a defense mechanism. I'm not trying to like necessarily hide my personality or anything like that, but it's just how you're being seen, right? It's the cover. It is the outfit, right? And so that is your rising. Now, the rising also is very important because that is going to determine the other house placements in your chart. So let's again use the example of Virgo rising. So if you have a Virgo rising, that's always going to be your first house. The rising is always the first house, okay? The house of the self. And again, this is how you identify in most cases, like your personality, your mask when you're out around other people. You might deeply resonate with that rising sign. Let's say that you have Virgo in your first house. Your second house is now going to be Libra. Your third house is going to be Scorpio. Your fourth house is going to be Sagittarius. Is this making sense? So now we're going in that order of the zodiac wheel. So the rising sign is always in the first house. That always determines the starting point of your astrological wheel. I hope I'm not moving too fast here and I hope this is making sense. All right. If it's not making too much sense, you could always book a birth chart reading and we could break it down a little bit, deeper and more slowly. So rising sign, boom, the mask, the personality, whatever outfit you're wearing when you are putting on a show. Sun sign, soul, personality at the core, who you are deep down inside, okay? Who you resonate with the most. Are you tired of stressing over meal prep, grocery shopping, and figuring out what to cook every single night? I know I am, child, okay? I am not trying to be slaving over the kitchen stove and worrying about washing dishes every single night. It's too much. Running a business is enough for me, honey. So allow me to introduce you to Cook Unity, your personal chef at your fingertips. Cook Unity delivers chef-crafted meals straight to your door, made with high-quality, fresh ingredients. Whether you're craving a hearty pasta, a healthy grain bowl, or something gourmet, there's something for every palate. These recipes are authentic, full of flavor, and created by local chefs who love food just as much as you do. As someone who's always on the go, whether it's teaching fitness classes, choreographing routines, or spending quality time with my friends or my pup, I love how Cook Unity saves me time without sacrificing flavor or nutrition. Plus, I get to try dishes from top chefs that I wouldn't normally have access to. So I can literally switch it up from Chinese to Mexican to Italian to Caribbean. I love it. No more takeout guilt, no more boring leftovers, just real delicious meals made just for you. So if you're ready to elevate your weeknight dinners, then head on over to cookunity.com and use my code MARTONG00 to get $60 off your first order. I will put that in the show notes for you so you can get easy access and take you right to the website. Okay, so don't forget, put your order in right now, okay, because they need to know what you're ordering. So even if you don't have the time to put your order in, they will go based off your preferences and your first questionnaire when you go to the website, and you can set up literally like your dietary needs, if you have any allergies, anything like that. So go right now, okay? Cook Unity. This is where convenience meets culinary creativity. Then we have the moon sign. This is the last in the big three. The moon sign is literally based on where the moon was when you were born. That simple. So today I want to say that the moon is still in Aquarius. So let's say that you were born today or you had a child today. That child would have an Aquarius moon. Tomorrow we have the lunar eclipse in Pisces. If you have a child that's born tomorrow, they're going to have a Pisces moon. Okay, so very simple. The moon changes sign every, I believe, 2 to 3 days. So the moon is going to stay in a sign for 2 to 3 days. So that is where your moon's going to be. Now, the moon represents your emotions, your physical body, how you feel when you are by yourself, when you're in the comfort of your own home, when you're around people that you love and trust, when you are deeply in tune with yourself, right? So for me, I am a Taurus moon. Let's go into, some characteristics of Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. It's a sign that represents comfort, material possessions, food, material assets, agriculture, sensuality, beauty, love. It's a Venus ruled sign, something we could talk about on a later episode as well. Every sign is ruled by a different planet. So Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of love. Taurus is a very nurturing sign, right? When you think about Venus, Venus is a feminine planet. It's feminine energy. It represents women, children, love, reproduction, beauty, art, all of that good stuff. So Taurus being ruled by Venus, those are the qualities that you're going to give off if you do have heavy placements in Taurus, meaning it's in your big three or it's in another place in your chart where there's a major personal planet there. So me having Taurus in the moon, that's actually a great placement. So there's some signs that are not going to do so well in certain planets or luminaries. The sun and the moon are luminaries. They're not planets. So Taurus being in the moon, having the moon there, it's like, it's at home. It feels good, right? The moon is also a feminine luminary. It goes well with Venus. So these are the protectors. These are the nurturers, right? These are the people who are providing home, comfort. They are taking care. They are raising, building, creating community, creating safe spaces, cooking meals, right? So when it comes to my Taurus moon, it's like, I love being like in the comfort of my own home. I love eating, making good meals, going out to eat, spending time with friends, cuddling up. I am a lover girl. As much as I talk shit about men and how like trash they are, but I really do love like romance, and I really do love like being with someone that I'm attracted to, and we can have good conversation and share good experiences and food and all that, right? So that is me at the core as a Taurus moon. So depending on where your moon is, let's say that you have your moon in Aries. It might not feel so smooth. It might not feel as comfortable because Aries is ruled by Mars. So that's a completely different vibe from the moon, okay? Aries, it's a leader, it's a fighter that loves battle and standing up for a cause and taking action, taking initiative, moving forward, speaking up for itself. That is the vibe of Aries. I made a video on my Instagram yesterday about needing an Aries friend in your life. So having the moon in Aries, that might feel a little bit more like restrictive. You might feel like, I don't know how to deal with my emotions. Like you might feel like you're someone who gets a little bit more irritated or frustrated easily. Like you might want to express yourself, but maybe sometimes your expressiveness comes off a little bit harsh or you're misunderstood, So again, the moon rules the emotion. So if you have more of that like aggressive, determined, passionate sign in the moon, like Aries, again, you might just be someone that's a little bit more like on edge or a little bit more hot-headed. Okay, so again, I hope that gives some context on the moon. So that is your big three. Okay, there's so much more that goes into the birth chart, so many other different planets, so many other houses. Like it's so broad, and every single zodiac sign has a different personality. It has a different planetary ruler. It has a different purpose. So if you're interested in learning about any of this, you can definitely subscribe to my Substack, Midheaven Mommy, where we talk all things astrology. If you want to get a deeper dive, I love to get deep there. And then you can also check out my YouTube channel, Midheaven Mommy. I do mostly short videos right now. I'm doing mostly short form. I will be adding in long form content starting in September. So I'm really excited for that. So we can dive a little bit deeper into specific signs, houses, planets, all that good stuff. So yeah, y'all, I hope that you got something out of this conversation today and you learned something new. Let me know what you learned. Let me know where your big three is. Like, what's your rising? What's your sun? What's your moon? Drop a comment. Okay, let me know. Let's talk about it, especially if we have like similar planets, like, do you have a Taurus moon? Do you have a Scorpio sun? Do you have an Aquarius rising? Let me know. Let's talk about it. All right. If you love this episode, share it with a friend, share it with someone who is an astrology lover. They're learning about astrology. They want to get into it. They're always sending you some type of astrology content. Send it to them. Okay. And you guys can also book a birth chart reading with me. Super simple. I call it a simple natal chart reading because I literally break it down as simple as possible. Okay. So the same way I did just now, I know I'm like talking a little fast. I'm speeding through this episode, but I pretty much break down everything as far as your main personal planets. So your sun, your moon, your rising, your Mars, your Venus, your Mercury, and your midheaven, which a lot of people don't talk about the midheaven, which is why I have been talking more about it. So you guys can go check out again my Substack. I have a blog on there talking about the midheaven placement. So depending on where yours falls in your chart, you're going to have a different type of career, public image, purpose in this life. How you make money is going to be based on your midheaven sign. So if you're trying to pivot right now, which I feel like a lot of people are doing right now, it's a huge like transitional period with this eclipse, and just people are switching jobs and deciding that like this is not the life that they want to live anymore. They're moving into something else. They're moving in a different direction. Like I've been doing dance and fitness for the past 12 years, and now I'm getting more into astrology and spirituality. And it's always been something that has been a part of me and in my chart, very visible in my chart, but it's been something that I have repressed and I have not publicly come out and talked about too much. Like over the years, I've always dipped and dabbled in astrology and brought it up on my podcast, but now I'm like going full throttle and I love it. And it's so fun. And I love that I'm educating people and I'm opening up conversations for people to really dive deeper into their charts and figure out who they are and what their purpose is and why they think the way that they think and why they get along with certain people or why they don't get along with certain people, why they're not loving the career that they're in versus the career that they've always been drawn to. Like astrology can literally tell you all of that. And that's why I freaking love it. Yeah, y'all, I'm sending you so much love, grounding, peace in this eclipse season. Hang in there. We are almost there. I am looking forward to change. I'm looking forward to blessings. I'm looking forward to feeling so much better at the end of this. So cheers to our new timeline. Cheers to quantum leaping, and cheers to getting everything that we are meant to get in this life because it's our birthright. All right, y'all. Thank you again for listening. Again, go share, rate, and review the podcast. Leave me 5 stars. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And I will see you guys in another episode. Bye, y'all. Take care.